So good morning. Welcome back to my channel. I have this banner up, but this channel is actually Capri. Actually, you might be watching it on Swamp Rose. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is a get ready with me video. So I have this banner up because I'm about to reveal myself with no makeup and no filters on, so that I want to prepare you for that. I just like to give you something real, and I have a big live stream for you today. I want to talk about the private driver, which is something I talked about probably in like one of my, oh good, Trisha's here, Angel's here, the other Angel's here. Thank you so much, you guys. I don't know, I always think I can go live and like I'll do it like nobody will show up, but so anyway, thank you for being here. I want people to show up. I don't know. So yeah, I'm about to take the banner down, but I was going to sing you a song first. I was going to sing to you. I'm trying to do things to get people to watch. Ready? So, this ain't Texas, ain't no hold 'em. Lay your cards down, 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 down. Go park your Lexus, throw your keys up. Stick around, round, 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 round. 'Cause I'll be damned if I can't slow dance with you. Come pour some sugar on me, honey, too. It's a real life boogie and a real life showdown. Don't be a bitch, boy, take it to the floor now. There's a tornado running through your city. Hit the basement, that shit ain't pretty. On rugged whiskey, we're surviving. Gone red cup kisses, sweet redemption, we're surviving. Just kidding. I didn't even warm up my voice, so don't judge me. Anyway, I just wanted to do something catchy to get people to watch. So before I get started on this private driver, thank you. You guys are so sweet to me. I really do have a good Idaho 4 stream for you with things that you guys are really, really gonna want to hear about. So I talk about my makeup. I don't really like to tell you what I'm doing, but I have to tell you this because I'm so low on makeup. I barely have any foundation left. I'm completely out of primer. And so I have an over-the-counter primer I've been using, and I'm just gonna plug it because obviously it's working. I'm gonna get new stuff. But first I tried, which one? Hold on. They're expensive, so I'm assuming you want my review on these. I got both of these Neutrogena ones because I thought they were like, I've spent so much money on it. I should have just gone and bought the damn primer. But first I tried like that brand by Jessica Alba that's all natural, but it like dried out my face, and it gave me like, it made me break out. And then I tried this one, and it made my face really dry. This is the 70+ sunscreen, and it says it won't clog pores, but it's like awful on my skin. And then I got this one, and it's slightly better. Neutrogena doesn't make the oil-based sunscreens anymore, which sucks. But this one's pretty good. It has the Hydroplex, which is like made out of oats. So anyway, that's what I'm using for primer, and I'm going to shut up about makeup for the rest of the live stream. Hold on. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Yeah, I could make that into an Idaho 4 song. I think that song is so underrated, and it's because people are wicked Beyonce haters. And she got Country Album of the Year for like a country flavored album. And I don't know. I think because of that, nobody wants to listen to that song. And it's so cute. It really is. I can go listen to the lyrics. It's adorable. And the video is good. That's why I did the thing where you go like this. In the video, she's like topless in like a blazer. And she goes like, "This ain't Texas, ain't no hold on. Lay your cards down, down." And like, it's like a gun and like lasers come out of it. You have to see it. It's a pretty good video. I know what she was doing. She was trying to make it simple. Like, what's the name of that song? If you like it, you put a ring on it, because that was like by all critics, that was her best video ever. But Single Ladies, that's what it's called. But So I know what she was trying to do. She was trying to do like a simplistic single ladies thing, but I don't know. She could have like made it more, I don't know, relatable than a topless cowboy with lasers coming out for fucking eyes and fingers. Wait, hold on. Kopaka's Lexus. Hold on. Okay, so it goes, thank you, Angel. There's a tornado run through your city. Hit the basement. That shit ain't pretty. Oh, wait, how's it go? Rugged whisk. Oh, no, that's not what it is. Wait, how's it go? This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold 'em. Lay your cards down, 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 down. Go park your Lexus. Throw your, go park your Lexus. Throw your keys up. Got it, Angel. We've got a new theme song. Although we can't be that lighthearted. I'm in a rare mood lately. You're going to get a few of those out of me today. Let's get right into it, guys. How far? We're already 6 minutes into the live stream. Finish getting this one here. I know this isn't like really primer, but what are you going to do? You know, your options are go buy something that's laden with chemicals and put it on your face, or get something like close to sort of natural and use that. That's what I did. Okay, private driver, you guys. So recently in the documents that came out, I was having a conversation with Robert from True Crime Unraveled, and we were talking about references to the private driver in the newly unredacted documents in the Idaho 4 case, the case against Brian Koberger. I don't want to hijack the live stream, though, with being like me. That's such a good song, isn't it? I don't drink, but like I will play that song in my car. And I drink my coffee black. Although if I really need extra energy, I do put honey and oat milk in it. I do love this new brush. Gia gave this to me. Okay. So let's get to the private driver, you guys. All right. So in the newly released doc, something that I thought was like really interesting was that Dylan texted the private driver. And we get back to, we really didn't know much about Dylan's whereabouts the entire time. We certainly, it just wasn't mentioned to us. And so it got me thinking like, okay, we know that the roommates were all in their respective rooms by 4. We know they had to have walked their dog. They were dropped off around 2. What time did Dylan get home, I'm wondering? Because did she not know that the private driver dropped them off, or was she double checking to make sure it was them? But I don't know how she would have done that because the dog would have had to have been walked. But regardless, DM text, according to these new documents, the private driver when all of the other girls didn't answer. And so it's like bringing up some other questions to me. Hold on. I can't read my notes. So the other thing I want to bring up is that the private driver didn't text back. But by what I'm going to show you, it sounds like, or what we've heard, the private driver was at Taco Bell at that time. So I wonder why he wouldn't text. Well, maybe he wasn't at Taco Bell at the time. He would have been at Taco Bell at 2. No, he provided a receipt. So I don't know. It's all a mystery, but it's definitely something I want to know more about. And there was an evolution to the private driver that we saw. And I'm going to read you that evolution in a second. But when it comes to the identity of the private driver, aside from the Daily Mail article I'm about to read you, all we really ever knew was that it was likely Eric Gower. And the reason we thought it was Eric Gower is because in Blaker's PCA and his Pennsylvania PCA. Oh, Christy's here. Hey, Christy. In Blaker's PCA, the name wasn't redacted, except it wasn't Eric Gower, it was Eric Grauer, which we all assumed was a misspell. I don't know, my camera's glitching out. And so we all assumed it was this Eric Gower. Now, who's Eric Gower? Eric Gower is actually heavily involved in the Moscow Police Department, and his wife is employed by them. And he actually is in the report for the Moscow Police Department in 2021. He was dressed up as Santa. And he also had like a thing where he would drive college girls home when they've had too much to drink. It was like a volunteer service he was part of. He also had connections to the Gonzalez family. Now, I was sent some info by Tonka. Tonka, thank you very much for the info, and I'm researching it right now. But it's possible he might be a very close family friend of the Gonzalez that we really that's really trusted by the family that maybe we just don't know. What I'm getting at is, what's the point in all this secrecy about the private driver? We have very little secrecy about a lot of other close witnesses in this case. We haven't had stories about Jack and Loach and all these other people pulled from the internet, but yet the private driver, we get everything pulled from the internet and no additional information. And even in these documents, we really don't know the scope of what's going on with the private driver. It seems like there's more to it. And I wondered, is he some sort of witness? Did he come back through that neighborhood? Did he give somebody else a ride that night? Let me just talk about the evolution of the private driver, though. Let me get this bronzer on before I do. Whoa, that's bad. Oh my God. All right. We'll just do the same thing on the other side. Oh my God. I'm turning off my camera for a second. I got to fix that. Give me a moment. So I'm going to read to you the evolution of the private driver. Now, this information comes from C-Girl on TikTok, and I have presented it to my audience. Like I'd say in the last few months, we've already talked about it. And yeah, I think this is an important thing to review. Hold on, I've almost got that straightened out. I'm going to turn my camera back on. And I'm going to turn to the chat real quick because I don't want to neglect you guys. I'm sure you guys have a couple things to say about this. Oh God, it's like still really bad. So Christy says, wait, thank you, I love you. He was also at Taco Bell, which is right on White Ave where suspect vehicle 1 was supposed to be. So that's what I'm thinking too, is did this person who we know was up late at night, could he have been like some sort of witness? Is that why they're keeping him so secret? I don't know. I don't like putting bronzer on, but it's so necessary this time of year. I'll just tell you, with my makeup, I use a ton of blush in the winter, but it's like as the color is leaving my skin. But then like midwinter, I can't use the blush anymore because like all of the like red undertones are gone in my skin. So I have to go completely cool. So anyway, the only thing I can use is bronzer. Like I cannot use blush this time of year. And I hate using bronzer because it gets in my hair and I'm so scared it's gonna, like I don't dye or put anything in my hair because it oxidizes in your hair and I'm so scared it's gonna give me gray hairs. I'm just gonna think out loud and have no filter today. Watch me. Yeah, so let me read to you the evolution of the private driver. I gotta get some eye makeup on. This is the first time I've come on without like full eyebrows, so I'm feeling a little like naked. Hold on. Yeah, and just happened to keep a fast food receipt. Oh, good. AR is here. I'm getting gray, loving it. AR, you don't mind dyeing your hair though. I don't want to dye my hair. Yeah, oh my God, AR, I could say a million things to you right now and get off topic. All right, let me read to you the evolution of the private driver. In fact, why don't I do this? I was going to read it to you, but why don't I just play it to you? I'm not even monetized on this channel, so it doesn't really matter. Hold on. This is one of my sound bites from a live stream I did like a couple months ago. This is kind of crazy. Let me take that down here. Sorry. Hey, Jack. All right.
Down the rabbit hole of the rideshare driver in Idaho 4 case and the evolving narrative. And I'm going to explain why it's actually a female. First, we were told it was an Uber driver. Then we were told it was a male cabbie. Then we were just told it was an unnamed male driver, probably a cabbie. Then we were told it was a taxi driver, an unknown taxi driver. And he confessed to having an alibi of going to a Taco Bell. Then we were told it was actually a Lyft driver. Pause and read, this was his name. And he was a male. Then 48 Hours released a transcript of an interview with Olivia, who was Kaylee's sister. And here's what she said, quote, the driver told her the exact time Kaylee and Maddie were dropped off at their house on King Road at 1:56 a.m. A timeline, she says, she confirmed.
This is where the story gets even more perplexing because we know the private driver was a friend of the family by the own admissions of the family. In fact, so close that it looks like, from, like I said, the research I've been doing, they even had like close business ties. But then you see in this quote from Olivia, she emphasized it. She had the chance to correct herself and she doubled down on it being a female. And that's where we heard all these things about the Dakota theory and stuff. Now, I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong, or what's actual or not. What I'm saying, she certainly could have misspoke. She also could have purposefully done that because, we just went over the 4chan stuff, and it's interesting what it appears law enforcement does to fish out a suspect or to trigger a suspect or whatever. But anyway, I'll keep going because this is fascinating. It's only a couple more seconds.
Before the police did. Remember, Olivia knew before the LE. And Olivia said, quote, I immediately took the information to the LE. Olivia said, quote, here's her phone information. Her. That wasn't a mistake, folks. She said her. Okay? And she didn't correct herself. She said her. Quote, here's the rideshare driver's name. I have reason to believe it's this woman right here who was a Lyft driver, who was also.
And if you guys didn't hear, that was from the 48 Hours interview. So, I mean, that wasn't like, see, I censored everything because I just, we don't know who's involved, who's not. And also, if they're protecting a witness, I'm not going to be the one to like dox the witness. But that was a 48 Hours interview. So just so anyone who thinks, oh, okay, this was maybe her saying it on social media or on Facebook or something. No, this was a nationally syndicated interview. So anyway, I'm gonna finish my makeup.
Student at UI that also drove the girls to and from the corner club often. And this is her name. This is her. For those of you who live to doubt me, peace out, Boy Scout. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just putting it out.
That's the way the Wi-Fi's work. So this individual could have came into these homes and partied and done things, and that data can be captured. I want this guy to be fair. I want him to be scared. I don't want him to be confident. I want him to be sick of seeing my face. And I'm not going nowhere until this guy's off the streets.
All right, I'm going to turn to the chat. I have 14 new comments. That's awesome. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Oh, muted. Hold on. Her name is out there. I wouldn't worry. I know it's true, but it's not just about me like worrying about what's legally okay and what's not okay. I'm very well aware and conscious of how it affects people. The bigger and bigger I get, and the more people that follow me, and I know I only have 64 people here, but one day we might be a channel of like 12,000. And, the thinking of how that affects somebody morally and ethically, I try so hard not to drag people who don't want to be involved in the public eye. Even if I have the legal right to, that doesn't change things. And you never know, if you cause damages to someone while dragging their name, they might have an airtight motherfucker lawsuit against you if you're doing it on camera. Just saying. Do at your own risk, right? Oh, thank you for hitting the like button. Hold on. Angel says, I haven't heard anything about the private driver, but I have heard that the DoorDash driver is a dark-haired female. She saw the driver of suspect vehicle 1. I think that the DoorDash driver, I know the DoorDash driver is going to be some sort of witness, because at the very least, the defense and the prosecution is going to want to know from them or describe the tone of the neighborhood that night, like the sounds, the atmosphere. Was there traffic on the street? The DoorDash driver can say if they saw more than one car coming in and coming out. I do think the DoorDash driver will be a witness for sure. And that reminds me, I have an article that Meg P sent me in Discord. Hold on, let me finish the foundation. And I love putting this foundation on. I look literally like a different person. It's incredible. And it's almost gone. I don't even know what to do, because, and not to tell you my whole life story, but like, I'm going to have to go and get new foundation, and then summer's going to hit and my skin's going to be like 5 shades darker. But I don't know. I guess I'll deal with it when that problem comes, right? All right, I got something really incredible to show you guys. And then we'll do eye makeup. All right. Oh, actually, you know what? I was going to end with this, but I have a whole nother segment. Let me throw some questions out to you. I'm going to get the chat going. I'm going to light the chat up. Let me get my eye. I'm going to light the chat up before we do anything else. All right. Oh, wait. You guys have some stuff. Hold on. Wait, why did you start this channel? I have a backup to Swamp Rose channel for different reasons. But I mean, primarily, I have an obligation to that audience, particularly to my audience, to the people who advertise on my channel, to the people who have followed me for 10 years, to try and there are things I want to present to them that when I have how do I say this and express exactly what I am feeling? I have a second channel because I feel like I can express myself without having to worry that the Swamp Rose channel, I don't know. I don't really have a good answer. Okay, there you go. No, I don't know. I just did. I have other YouTube channels. I have 2 yoga channels. This was a yoga channel, but I made most of the yoga videos private. And then I have a yoga channel that's random. And then I have a yoga channel for like a big senior yoga program I had in my old hometown. And then I have 2 other Capri channels. So I've got a lot of channels. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 channels. And I might have I have a 7th if I count the one I made for my husband. And I have more than that. My dog has a channel. Like, I don't know what I'm saying. I just never like, okay, let's get back to business. Hi, Scott. To be able to express opinions without risking the other channel. Yeah, and it's not about even risking, because I am a risk taker, but the Swamp Rose channel is not just Idaho 4. And it's going to be around a lot long after the trial of Brian Koberger. And it's a part of my heart, and I'm not going to, I don't want to say I'll ever put anything on this channel that I haven't vetted and researched, because that's not going to happen. However, there are things that I want to say due to my many facets of my personality. And I have a very high standard for what I put on Swamp Rose. The reason I'm hesitating to say that is because as I'm saying it, I'm realizing that's not exactly what it is, because that would suggest that I don't have integrity, and that's just not the truth. I try to treat everybody the same. I'm not treating my husband different than I treat my coworkers. I'm not treating my subs different than I treat the live chat. I try to have integrity. Integrity means you treat everybody the same way at all times. That's a challenge when you're in the public and you're making a video, because as even my mods know, I'll get frustrated. I have a bad day. I'll cuss someone out. I have some really nasty little nicknames for some people, but I don't try to put that out into the public. I don't want that to be a lack of integrity. That's more of like respect. Like when I have that precious time in my public, I don't spend it talking about drama or personal things. So I don't know. I think it's just to help me grow is the best answer, because I'm hesitant to even swear on my live stream. Like, I don't know. So I like suck at answering this question. I'm sorry. I'm turning off my camera. Wait, hold on. 4 witnesses led to the suspect vehicle 1 DD. Okay, so DD, EG, DT, CW, and FBI. Okay, I got to get into this next thing. We just got to do this. Hold on. At least this channel is not trying to be a people pleaser. Is that what you think Swamp Rose channel is? There's no question that I respect other people, and it's not my personality to try and hurt, trigger, or upset other people. I try to be a lady, and a lady tries to make everybody around her feel comfortable. And so, I mean, it could be called a people pleaser. I'm not too offended by that. But I think it's missing the context. Good people try to make the people around them feel comfortable. I mean, that's just, or that's what we strive for, at least. We should, it's called respect, respect for others. Okay. Listening to you, I only slept a little after my night shift. So sleepy. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. I love my audience. I was talking to Mikey last night, and I was telling him, like, we were talking about another live streamer. I'm not going to get into it, but you can tell, like, when they really enjoy doing it to when, like, they're just doing it to do it. Like, it's a better show, like, and I love being here. And I need to get into the next story, you guys. All right, let's get right into this. I'm just going to ask you a series of questions. These are lingering questions about the 911 call and why it's so unclear if Xana was unconscious or not. Now, I'm not going to go with the info I heard last night. Somebody needs to verify that to me. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And Angel's telling me I'm an ass kisser. Okay. Maybe. Oh, no. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the chat. What am I talking about? I heard some stuff last night. I'm not going to go with what was said there until I get further confirmation. I need more foundation on my face. But here's the deal. How is it that they didn't see blood when checking to see if Xana was unconscious? And if they saw blood, that's not something you wouldn't mention to a freaking 911 operator, right? But I've heard an argument to that before, because the subject has come up, that sometimes when people are in shock, they don't see blood. And the thing about that for me is, like, there were 4 people there. I could see one person being in that situation, but four people that didn't see the blood. Now, if what was said last night is true, I'll just hypothesize until I know. The door was blocked and they couldn't open it all the way. But they were checking her pulse. They were checking her skin. Now, it's all confusing, and it could very well have played out that way because somebody else gave something that kind of backed that up, which was the coroner, Kathy Mabbitt. And she said that their faces like looked untouched or like angelic or something along those lines, right? And so maybe they saw the faces and they looked completely untouched. Now, the thing about Kathy Mabbitt is when I first saw the way she was talking, it did look like she was either being deceitful or holding something back, just by my human instinct. Now, since then, I've had some people who like have a little bit of experience in body language tell me, no, she just is new to being on camera, and it looks like she was given rehearsed things to say. But I was reading this article Meg P sent me, and Kathy Mabbitt has had some issues. Okay, there's no question about it. Like, she pronounced somebody dead who was alive. That really happened. So I'm not here to like make fun of Kathy Mabbitt. What I'm saying is, I don't know if I want to use that in my analyzing of the 911 call. I don't know what the face looked like, but certainly that's probably true because clearly they were checking for the pulse. So let's keep going. I don't want to just dwell on one thing. So hold on. What were the other people doing when this happened? And where were they? Like, were they all standing around at Xana's room? Because this is a house full of 6 people. Or did Bethany go upstairs and check on Kaylee and Maddie? Because we heard from Batanti, the private investigator hired by Brian Koberger's defense team, that Bethany found the body. So did Bethany go upstairs and find Kaylee and Maddie when this was all going on? And then I've got more, you guys. The most perplexing thing I think about this is, how is it that they woke up and had so much commotion that the neighbor came over, but they hadn't discovered the bodies? And I'm so not trying to be the person to pick on the roommates, because I know it's coming from everyone, but like, explain to me how you didn't discover the bodies, but you were freaking out so badly the neighbors came over. Like, how is the chain of events so backwards? Like, wouldn't you go check on the bodies and then freak out? Or if you just thought there was an intruder and an unconscious person, why were you freaking out earlier? And it's not just that they were freaking out, because I get the story. They woke up, they realized there was an intruder, blah, 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 blah. But it's that they were freaking out so hardcore, the neighbor came over and they hadn't even checked anything. And the neighbor's name was Beth. We know all the neighbors. Who the F is Beth? Right? And then, like, let's just say the hypothetical, somebody was trying to be deceitful in a 911 call. Because yesterday we read that article in Psychology Today about people who are like trying to be deceitful in 911 calls and everything. Let's just say that if you were trying to think of like a name and you were being deceitful and like you picked the name Beth, like, Who else has a Beth-like name there? Just saying. Yeah, but anyway, I'm not like that. I'm not really trying to come down the roommates. I know they could even at some point face legal charges possibly for not calling 911. We'll find out. But so it's not for me, you know, but it's because my viewers and people I talk to are constantly like, Capri Swamp Rose, you know, don't you think that Dylan and Bethany are involved in this? And so I just am trying to give my take because it's something I hear like every day. And I always say, you know, I don't necessarily think they're involved, but I want explanations. I'm assuming they're there because they've been cleared by police, right? We got 9 people watching. Nice, you guys. Pretty good for a little channel with 63 people. Hold on. No. Unless they took a plea. Okay. Hold on. There's another Beth. When do you think the 911 audio will go public since a couple of channels have allegedly already heard it? I have 2 takes on that. Number 1, that it's just a mistake. Or you tell me why Drunk Turkey Show gets access to the 911 call before Fox News or Banfield or Grace. You tell me. And I think the answer to that question might be the answer to, you know, I don't know. And then and if it is true, I've heard the motivation, or allegedly the motivation on the street was like the Gonzalez's were upset that the transcript was released without them knowing, but none of that really makes sense. If you're not going to release a 911 call to the public, why would somebody have a stashed copy? And are they storing it next to the Garrett Discovery files? That's what I want to know. Again, reasons why I don't do this on the Swamp Rose channel. But maybe it's a lesson in integrity. Maybe I should just go ahead and make this public on Swamp Rose. You know what? Damn it. Let's at least make it members only. Let's just open it up to the members. Edit. Go to YouTube. Yeah, let's get a few members in here just to say goodbye. I mean, this is really hard. I might as well just make it public. I don't know. No, because I want to review it first. I might be like, might not be a great live stream to have public because I am not looking my finest today. Okay, do that. I'm making it members only. There we go. Members only. Publish. And go back to StreamYard and whoops, public. Save. Let me just go back to YouTube and make sure it's only members only. That sometimes happens when I make it members only, it goes public. Okay. I should have turned off my camera while I did that. Okay. So hold on. Angel D, yeah, a few people weren't happy about certain creator misleading them. I'm not a member. It's just members for Swamp Rose. I don't have members here. I'm not even like monetized. Okay, here's the saving grace to all of this. Good thing I have friends. So I have a friend, A.R. Hayes. I think he's going to try to verify that for us. So stay tuned. And also, he's reaching out to some of the larger creators that he networks with because he like knows everybody I know. And he's going to get some answers for us. So as soon as I find out, I will. And I mean, if it's true, I'm not I'm not a jerk. I'll give Drunk Turkey all the credit in the world. But right now, no. It's not fair to my viewers to do that again and go down a freaking rabbit hole that ends up, being nothing. And furthermore, it's a disservice knowing how many people circulate through the true crime community are getting interested in the case and clicking on these videos if I repeat something that's false. I mean, the stakes are higher now because we're so close to trial. There's not as much time to correct the record, if something gets, falsely reported. Wait, what? Yeah, Gray Hughes got the audio. That's why I'm kind of thinking it might be real. I don't know, you guys. And I hate even saying it like that because that's like coming out and saying, oh, I don't think your info is real to these creators. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in every incident, we always grab receipts before we present something to the audience. So not for you. It's not really credit, though. Is it? He doesn't know or care he's being used. Scott, I'm sick of it. Yeah, I don't know, you guys. I'm just putting on some eyeliner and then coming back on. So I had another live. I was going to stop this one and start another one, but I mean, we only have like 9 people in here and we just started the, wait, which one? I already did private driver. Oh no, I did both of them already. What else did I had something else for you guys. Hold on. I gotta put my shadow on. Oh, I gotta put some blush on too. There's like no way that's gonna work. I had one other thing I wanted to show you. I don't know. Well, this is one subject I did want to talk to you guys about, which I'll bring up now. There was like a woman in here yesterday, and she was kind of like, I don't want to say she was a troll, but she was kind of trolling. And she said to me, like, why do you have such interest in the case? Like, why do civilians have interest in a case? Basically insinuating like it was I don't know, like, why are we doing this? And is it because we don't trust the cops or we disrespect police? And like, why are we doing the podcast and everything? And so I answered her, and I think I want to like reiterate this answer to my audience today because I think it's important and I just want to say it again. So like, when you live in a democracy or a democratic republic, okay, the rights that are given to you are on paper, right? And so we know we have them, but oftentimes things will get tested and it'll go to court and we'll have it legislated. So like, for example, we often talk about the IGG, like there's no laws for it. Like, that's a bad example. How do we know? So in this case against Brian Kohlberger, like there are investigative tools that we don't see every day. Like they're not common practice to have. Always have genetic genealogy testing and all these other things. And so it's a very interesting case from like an outsider's perspective because you're seeing things, rarely seen. And when we see these things that investigators don't always use, start bringing up questions that, people start having questions about constitutionality and different things that like, normally just don't come up. And they're very interesting. And the only time we can really talk about these things or make a difference in these things is when we're watching them happen, play out in our judicial system. And part of the checks and balances is meant that people cover these cases and make sure that the judicial system is kept in line. So our forefathers when they were creating the laws to this country, when they came up with freedom of press and freedom of the speech, it wasn't just because people needed to talk. The reason they did that is because it literally is 100% the checks and the balances to the judiciary system. So having like reporters and different people keeping track of everything, damn it. Okay. Having reporters and everything keeping track of everything as part of the systems of checks and balances. And so the point I'm getting at is, like, how do we know we have that right? I mean, it's on paper, but not only the right itself, but the reach of that right, how do we know? You know, and the answer to that, it's a rhetorical question. The answer to that question is there are people who audit that right. So there are people like who come up here on these platforms like me or whoever, and we exercise our rights as a citizen journalist. Okay. And it's the same with all of our rights, whether it's like the freedom of the press, freedom of speech, your Second Amendment rights, whatever they are, like, you have to audit them to make sure they're there. And so anyway, when I see people who are willing to come up on a platform and talk about these things, like, I do look at it as a very like American thing to do, like, and not just like a very human rights thing to do. And also, I would say that some of this too is a form of peaceful protest in a way as well. So anyway, and I'll take it to the chat. I wish I'm like waiting for my co-host, my co-anchor to say something. Angel says, I'm not saying she is, by the way, I'm saying it's, wait. Oh, hey, Shaggy's here. Thank you for being here. Wait, thank you, Christy. Wait, what worries me is the story Dylan's trying to relay is a sign of deception. And the crazy part is like all we have are the very, very most like prominent things that stuck out in that conversation. And there's so many of those interviews. I anticipate seeing, I deeply want to see not only the Dylan's testimony, but Xana's download from her phone and just corroborating it and knowing how the police came up with the timeline, because it has to be from Xana's phone, because these forensic downloads, unless they have the metadata. Okay, so yesterday somebody was saying, or Heather was saying that, like, you know, you can't use like a cell phone as proof of life, which is true. You can't use like a text message as proof of life. You can't. I mean, since like the beginning of cell phones, people have been trying to use that to deceive, or murderers have been using that to deceive. I can't talk. Anyway, but you can use the metadata. That's the interesting thing. So if somebody has their, like, if I have my phone in my hand for the next hour, walking around or have it in my pocket or something like that, especially if I have it in my hand and I'm texting people for like from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. If I have that phone in my hand the whole time, which if you're in danger, are you going to set your phone down? Very unlikely. For more than like a couple seconds. That signature, when you move your phone around, is unique to your phone. So technically, if she had the phone in her hand the whole entire time, there could be some sort of like alibi with the metadata, maybe. I don't know. There's 3. Oh, you're in the membership tab. There's 9 on Capri's channel right now, which is amazing. Thank you. Couldn't do it without you, you guys. We're just a small growing channel. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it's common for the perp to pretend they are the person to change the timeline to make them appear alive longer or rule them out. So then there's like all these unanswered questions then. So how was Xana's phone unlocked? Was it unlocked with a passcode, or was it unlocked by her face? Right? I mean, that would clear a lot of things up. I mean, if she punched in her code, but it don't clear a lot of things up, but maybe it would clear a couple of things up. It gets us closer to the truth. And then I keep going back to, since the DoorDash driver is so secretive, did the DoorDash driver possibly have a dash cam? And there is someone, I'm not going to name names in this video, but I will say there is somebody whose father is an ISP officer on the same lines as the DoorDash driver, and he was an active DoorDash driver in that area and currently like well-seasoned DoorDash driver. And if you're, and there's connections to Greek Row and would be like familiar with everyone. What I'm getting at is like, if you were the child of an ISP officer and you're a DoorDash driver, number one, you might have a dash cam. Number two, you might be more like attentive to detail. You know what I mean? Like you might pick up on something around you or pay closer attention, just thinking. Like if someone in my family was an ISP officer in my immediate nucleus family, like I might have some more, they might have instilled in you to be more aware of your surroundings, I would say. Oh God, what did Shaggy say? Hold on. Did you know about, I don't know what's going on. I've got the best tea today. I gotta tell you guys about this. So I like really trying to cut back on coffee. It's just, I just don't feel healthy when I drink it. And so I wanted something that would wake me up a little bit, but I didn't want black tea. It's just, that doesn't feel healthy to me either. And so I took my Romano or Parmigiano grater, and that like grates things really finely, and I grated up some ginger, and then I put honey on it, and then I just put it in hot water and steeped it. And it's pretty good because usually ginger tea gets too strong for me like that, but this is really good. And it's raw. It's like raw tea. You're not cooking it. So it's got a lot of like all those natural like living cells in it still, but it's got, can you see the ginger in there? I can obviously see it. Does that tell you my life story? Oh, you're listening, not really watching. I'm probably the only one who thinks the crime happened later than 4:30. So I saw an article today that says that you can tell the age of a blood stain. So like that handprint on the banister, for instance, like maybe they could tell it was like from 2 years ago or something, hypothetically. I am so freaking cold. Hold on. I'm putting this thing on. Okay. Yeah, so there's that. There's another thing is recently in forensics, like in the last, like I'd say like 5-6 years, they have amino tests now that can actually tell if blood was post-mortem or while somebody was alive. So like an enzyme basically appears when the blood is from the living. So that's another thing. They can tell like that. I guess what I'm getting at is railing off in my head the things that they come up with for time of death, which typically could have something to do with temperature. I don't know about 12 hours later, but in this case, The doors were open. You know, there are other things we're not going to discuss on this channel, which but we'll just put it like this. There are possibilities of analyzing other bodily fluids that can tell you the age, but again, the circumstances aren't controlled. You're essentially almost having someone in the open environment with the door open. It changes so much. But I don't know. I'm just a housewife. I might have they might have skills to tell exactly. I don't know. Hold on. Let me get the mouse. Who knows what time they exactly passed? They're going to have to try and tell us. They choose time of death based on who they want to be the suspect. I didn't see that. That's a comment. I should say people's names before I read the comment. Angel D, I can't stand the small and the coconut. I don't know. What are we talking about? It's good to see all of you. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Okay. Oh my God, Kiki. My friend gave me Blue Lotus, lavender, rose petal tea. It's a hallucinogen and an aphrodisiac. Blue Lotus. Like oh my gosh, I'm going to tell you some unsolicited fucking knowledge here. So I went into a rabbit hole, not so like a long, okay. So I paint, right. And I love, doing like, my favorite thing is like these ultra realistic paintings. Like that's my favorite thing to do, is just to work on something for like a month to try and make it look real. But my second favorite thing that I learned when I was trying to strengthen my hand for painting, and when I was just trying to expand my creativity, I started doing, and there's actually a guy on YouTube that I watched for a long time. He taught me how to do it. What do you call it? Impressionistic flower paintings. This is like my favorite thing to do other than ultra realistic. And I always look for flowers that would come out that I could do an impression of really quickly, really nicely. And one of them I looked into were these lotus flowers I saw in Egypt. And what's super fascinating is the lotuses that were used in Egypt are like so enriched and like freaking all over hieroglyphics and in that culture. I mean, it was a massive part of royal culture. It was a massive part of daily culture. You could see them in their hair. You can basically see them smoking them. You can see them eating them. You can see them laying in beds in them. They're all over the place. It was like more than like a national symbol. It was like a spiritual thing. And so the question was like, was there some sort of medicinal property? Because in the hieroglyphics, they were for everything. So they wanted to see, is there some like medicinal property to these lotus flowers? And what the person doing this documentary did was they went to like the botanical gardens in Egypt and tried to find like the oldest, most original lotus flower closest to like the ancient lotus flowers we'd see in hieroglyphics. And he did find one, and he was able to do testing on it. And it has like a compound in it that's like, it's kind of like an opioid, but without the other side effects. So the point I'm getting at is like the lotus flower, it like is very powerful. I did not know there was a hallucinogenic lotus flower, but I would believe it. I don't know. I just want to make sure I'm not providing dead air to you guys. But that was Xana. Wait. All right, you guys. Well, anyway, I just wanted to come on and do a quick live stream for you. I might jump back on. I have a couple more stories to share, but we'll see. So hit that notification bell if you liked to be at this live stream. Before I go, I need to take a couple moments to say some thank yous, though. First and foremost, thank you to the live chat. You guys are awesome. You not only, oh, wait, hold on. There's another comment I want to show. Jack Johnstone says, no, Ellie updated since 11/21/22, and media's silent about other investigations a few miles away and a few weeks earlier. And how many of them can we count? Brent, you know. There was the domestic violence, a manslaughter suspect a mile away. There were the serial killer who operated in the same MO, unsolved in that area. There were people not connected to the house that could have been like an alternative suspect. And then along the lines of all the other people so close to the case that could possibly have been an alternative suspect. I was about to say something before I pulled that up. Wait, because the officer went in and said, I think this is a homicide. So the officer saw something. So they must have been freaking out. They saw some blood. They started freaking out. They freaking ran outside. And so I think what it is the reason why she started, if, you know, this is putting deception aside. This is a hypothetical. Assuming Dylan is not involved in any of this. She woke up, her and Bethany woke up, they saw blood, they knew the 4 o'clock story, and they ran outside freaking out because they saw the blood. And that's why they were freaking out so hard before the neighbors came over. But instead of, this is the thing, is like, there's not, I'm stopping myself and not continuing with this theory, because how could you make a 911 call and not say there's blood? You wouldn't start with, I saw someone at 4:30 in the morning. You would start with, there's blood, and at 4:30 in the morning. And in that case, they wouldn't tell them to go upstairs, right, chat? Right? A 911 caller wouldn't go say, go check on them if you see blood stains on, right? So she couldn't have indicated that, right? Am I right on that? Like, a 911 caller wouldn't tell you to go check on a potential quadruple homicide, right? I don't know, maybe if there were other people there, who knows? They would have told you to wait for the officer if they thought somebody had broke in and left blood. But then again, they didn't get their whole story out. And maybe that's why she was trying to get her story out, is because she didn't want to go upstairs. She's trying to say, no, this might be, just send someone. I don't know. Hold on. Petition online, 38,000 signatures for FOIA about bot. Yeah, I forgot about that. We gotta promote that. I need them to freak out the night. Wait, I need them to freak out the night before. Our hearts are all broke. And there was something else I was just freaking reading to the. Where's my freaking phone? I'm just gonna go into Discord. I don't know where I must have left my phone in the other room. Hold on, let me pull up Discord. There's something in here you guys need to understand when it comes to that. Hold on. Okay. Shoot, I'm in the wrong channel. Hold on. Oh my God, I have another story to report on, you guys. Where is it? I don't know, but this is like crazy, you guys. Let me bring this up. I can't find it. There was something about the DNA I wanted to tell you, but this is better. And then I'm going to get off the live stream because it's beginning to get low energy at this point. We came on singing Beyonce, and now that's over. All right. Shoo. There was a video that went with this. Oh, well, let me just read it to you. My job was to get these girls home safe. Private driver who drove Idaho roommates Kaylee and Madison home hours before they were murdered says he is haunted by his role in delivering them to their deaths. That's so powerful. I can't believe they have that headline. The private driver who drove Kaylee Gonzalez. Oh, I'm not going to read the talking points. Hold on. Just read the article. The driver who took 2 of the murdered University of Idaho students home the night they were killed has broken his silence to tell how he is haunted by the knowledge that his job was to get them home safe, but instead he delivered them to their deaths. Speaking for the first time exclusively to the Daily Mail, the private driver who was probably the last person to see friends Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan alive said, "It's weighed on me. I've replayed the night a million times over, trying to think if there was some sign or some detail that something was amiss, but there was nothing. It's not lost on me that my job was to get these girls home safe, but that didn't really help this time." I'm sorry, but you guys, these girls are absolutely beautiful. I mean, they were mature. They had their heads on their shoulders. I mean, yes, they were young and they acted young. I don't think they acted out of control. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And I truly have to say, I do get so deeply offended by the people that body shame and judge Kaylee's looks. I think she's beautiful. I think she's above average beautiful. I think she's beyond basic. So I just want to say that because it does offend me when I hear that a lot. It's not just other creators. I do hear it in the comments occasionally. So I just want to stand up for them. I want to show you that picture because how can you deny how pretty these girls are? Anyway, let me keep reading. Oh my God, I think that's a virus, you guys. I'm not going to keep reading. Okay, there we go. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know what happened on the website. Like all of a sudden it said McAfee, like security. Ethan was beautiful too, but so was Xana. I was only showing Kaylee and Maddie. I do hear pushback against Xana. I don't hear it as much. I rarely hear people body shaming Ethan. Rarely. Like, I can't recall the last time I heard someone body shaming Ethan or saying something about his looks. And he was a good looking guy and he was really healthy. I think that it speaks about his presence a lot, that like when you hear Hunter Johnson talking about how he was trying to get Ethan to join his fraternity, and then Ethan decided he wanted to join another fraternity, but he was afraid to tell him. But I mean, everybody wanted Ethan to be around him. Like, it's just from the accounts of the students. But specifically, I feel like Kaylee gets like dragged all the time. And I just, I don't think she deserves that. I don't think she did anything to deserve that. She's her own person. She's not her father. She's not her mother. She is her own person, and she should not be held accountable for the actions of other people. It's absolutely sick. They were very full of life and vivacious. Hold on, Twiz is here? Wait, girl, this idiot you're calling Twiz. What? Who? What? Where? Does somebody call Twiz? That's unacceptable. Yeah, who was mean to Twiz? No one should be. What the heck? Hold on. Yeah, who is messing with Twiz? Christy, I'll tell you. So I have the story that I have another story I might do a separate live stream to talk about because it's too much to add to this one. I gotta go. I gotta wrap this one up. But Twiz and I were talking last night, Christy, and I have a story that Twiz was telling me about, and I'm going to do the story for you, dedicate it to you. It's to avenge your honor over the eyebrow photo. Anyway, Twiz can handle himself. Yeah, he'll be just fine. Black something. Twiz is mean to you, 20. Angel, he's only joking with you because he loves you. You know that. Wait, hold on. Uh-oh. Did I involve? Oh, God, we got to take that down. Integrity, Angel, integrity. Wait, I can't tell y'all what I said in this chat. Yeah, he can, but he's a dude. The first thing is well, I was starting my thank you, so I'm going to just start back in. So thank you to the live chat. Apparently there was some drama with somebody trolling Twiz, but I'm sorry about that. But in general, other than that, it's just been an amazing chat today. Oh, wait, hold on. Suspect vehicle 1 identified on 1125 Ridge Road near scene at 3:30. Bam, hashtag, bam, hashtag. I'm going to go back into the PCA and look there. But back to what I was saying to my mods, thank you so much for keeping the chat classy, other than that guy. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate you giving your time to this live stream. I hope you had a good time. I hope it was edifying and gave you some food for thought. And to the viewers, I just want to turn to you. A channel is just a channel. It's not a person. It's not a character. A channel is a group of people who come together to talk about things and enjoy the moment. And this channel is nothing without you. So I am nothing without you. I appreciate you watching. Even if you didn't want to leave a comment in the live chat or below, your viewership nonetheless, I am grateful for, and thank you for being here. And I appreciate your time. And lastly, I just appreciate that you all are here listening to what I have to say. And I would never ask anything of you, but if you did enjoy this content, I would appreciate it if you would let me know you liked it. Thank you so much. Consider hitting that like button if you want to put the live stream in front of another person. That's what that does. Or hit the dislike button if you didn't like it. Either way, it helps me, and I will take into account what you don't like in the content I create in the future. And if you would consider hitting that notification bell, that would be great, because we are just a small channel over here on Capri, and I can't create a schedule right now. So the way that you can help me the most is just hitting that notification bell. It really shows Google that this is a live stream you want to watch. So we'll keep it random for now. Try to get those notification bells on and just watch us grow. We're 63 people now, but I think we'll be 500 by, what's the date today? The 13th. Let's try and have 500 subs by April 13th. So I think that's pushing it too. I should say April 1st. Let's try to have 500 subs by April 1st. So that's the goal. And then as for my members, because this was just kind of like a fun impromptu live stream or whatever. And then I hit members only like towards the end to my members. Since I have you, your audience, your ear right now, I just want to remind you that your additional support is not critical to my channel, but it means the world to me. Your monthly membership that extra support sometimes keeps me going when I don't want to get up on the live stream, or I don't want to go through the process of, the research is intense, and putting it together and writing out these talking points so that you have the pertinent information and don't have to listen to a bunch of rambling. That takes time, and the membership really does give me an extra motivation, and I appreciate you, all of you. And Tarat is here. Oh, thank you for stopping to say hi. So we will end with the question that we started with to wrap things up and make sure you guys are thinking. But just to remind you, the biggest questions that we started this live stream out with were about the private driver. I can't find my notes. And does the private driver know more? Because we saw his name as a person that Dylan texted in these newly released documents. So what does he know? Is he more of a witness than what we know? Who is he? Why was there so much confusion in the evolution of the private driver? And if the private driver is just a witness as to dropping the girls off, why so much confusion and secrecy? Why isn't he just like a willy-nilly witness like a Dylan, or, you know what I mean? Like, why? I want to know. And I know you want to know. Wait, what? Hey, there's someone new. Hey, David G. Wait, what did we just notice? People are getting on board with my theory that Linda Lane Cam truck guy is who DM saw. That guy is geared up in tactical gear, in my opinion. I do know someone who, okay, I never reported on it, but I know someone, I can't tell you guys, shit. I'll try to get more verification. I've gotten very close. I've verified a conversation. Okay, I verified a conversation who was in the truck. I can't tell you guys. Shit. All right, I'm working on it. I might have some more information on that for you. The person I was working on with is currently not speaking to me, but I will talk to them today. You just wait. Wait, pink mic. I still like the pink mic. It's Jeff makes me feel bad about it. Jeff, why do you judge me and make me feel so? He's probably going to make fun of my song too. The pink mic. I'm not going to tell you, but someone I love very close to me who I live stream with doesn't like the pink mic. So it's gone for now. The driver, EG, allegedly tracked down and reported the suspect vehicle 1 in address. I mean, God, I was going to talk about that, but I'm not, and I'll tell you why. I can't find the interview, and I have people looking for it, and I will report on that if that's true. But the rumor, just so Jack, the audience knows what Jack is saying about, there was this rumor out there that a private driver came forward, and he lived like 1,200 feet from Brian Koberger allegedly, and he reported the Elantra. But I can't verify that. And just like I was saying before, when I was saying, oh, this second channel I have, maybe I can speak a little more freely, it doesn't really change things, because at the end of the day, I do feel like I have integrity. It's hard for me to not vet and verify things before I present it to other people. Even if I'm saying that I haven't vetted and verified it, it's still like perpetuating that soundbite, on the internet. Either Eric's wife or someone in her immediate family is an MPD. I think his wife worked for MPD. Eric Gower was Santa. Or he was in the the town report for the police department or something like that. Who cares what Jeff thinks? Nobody puts the pink mic in the corner, right? It's in the closet right now. I had to clean up the office. I feel like there was so much I wanted to tell you guys too. And my second story, I can't deliver it now because I have to read you an article. I have to read you 2 articles and show you a soundbite. But should I give you a teaser? All right, I'll give you a teaser. No, I can't, because you know what's going to happen is it'll get bit and somebody else will. All right, you guys, I'm going to end this live stream. I do have another one. I either will go live and do it, or I'll do it later tonight. Wait, what? Hold on. Let me see if I've got this. If I've got this story ready to go, I'll deliver it to you guys since I've got you here. It is about the Gonzalez family. I think I have enough to go on. Oh, another thing I wanted to bring out. Why isn't freaking 911 call coming out now? And I truly feel like it's to normalize the 911 call, right? Well, other than this is when everything's getting unsealed, but kind of interesting. They didn't do it before. I know the story off the top of my head. If you guys give me 1 minute, I'm just going to put the screensaver on. I have to step away from the computer. I'm going to play a quick song, and I'll be right back. And I'm going to deliver you guys a story regarding the Gonzalez family. Hold on. Oh my God. Not lying. Okay. 26 new messages. No, I left William because I was going to end the live stream, but I've got this other like burning art story to tell you guys. There's something else I want to share with you guys. And I was going to stop the live stream and start another one, but I don't have time for that nonsense. So I'm just going to deliver it to you. Oh, we've got new people in the chat. Hi, Tonka. And Red Riding Hood, Leslie Billy. McP. Okay. And thank you for sharing those links, Christy. Thank you for being number 7. I do appreciate if you guys like this live stream, please let me know. I'd love for you to hit that like button. It does put it in front of another person when you do. So let's get right into this third crazy ass story about the Idaho 4. Okay. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do this from the top of my head and like not display things and like read articles, but I have receipts for everything. It's just, you know, and it's better to deliver it to you in my own words than just sit here and, you know, read off of a screen, but I might reference it. And I'm wondering, do you guys think I should make this public? Like, do you think this, should we go public, do you think? What time is it? 12:30? Let me see if there's anyone else live streaming. Well, I don't know. How bad was my singing at the beginning? Will people make fun of me really bad? Well, I don't care if they make fun of me. Will they have to like plug their ears? Yes. Okay. Tonga says yes. Hold on. I think who. All right. Let's go ahead and make it live for the last part of this. I'm nervous. I don't know if I want to. Let me just get the story pulled up. I got to share this with you. I've got to share this with you. So let me pull up Discord. So, and I'm getting that same like McAfee warning when I pull up this article. This isn't good. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. All right. So I've got everything ready. Let me present this story to you. So we recently went into like a lot of conversation about Shannon Gray, the attorney for the Gonzalez family. So in the most recent interview with the Gonzalezes, we saw their attorney, Shannon Gray, advising them, speaking for them, bringing up different things. And what was shocking to some of us is thinking back to right before venue change and what happened and kind of bouncing the words and the protection of the case off of the attitudes of that specific group back when venue change happened. So if you remember, like right before venue change, we heard this soundbite from the Gonzalezes talking about how they conducted their own surveys, right? And like, we don't know if they were saying like they had a company do it. We don't know if they were saying they went and they like went door to door and did their own surveys or like people on behalf of them did it or what. But what everybody who's watching who wasn't around during that time needs to understand is they had a professional company run by one of their key witnesses, Edelman, conducting a professional survey at the time. And it was done very scientifically, paid by people and by trained people to do it. And the whole point of the survey and the whole arguments in court was that the survey was too invasive and was asking questions that could taint the jury pool. And then we had an actual family going out, and whether it was through a company or them privately or what, they were doing their own survey, right? And like, it kind of was just like such a contradiction. And my anger was never towards necessarily the Gonzalez family. They're not legal experts. They've never been in this before. They have a family attorney who advises them. Were they going against their attorney's advice doing that? Or did their attorney actually okay that? And what was the point of that? I mean, because they knew that was one of the reasons why venue change might happen. Was it to promote venue change? I don't know. But it seems so like out of place. And so a few people have been researching Shannon Gray, the attorney, and come to find out he has this like long laundry list of being reported to the bar. Now, I do take that with a grain of salt, because if you're a defense attorney and you're a pit bull, people are going to try and come after you. So you always have to like take things with a grain of salt. If that person is like willing to take on certain cases or talk about certain things, they're going to be a target in some way. But nonetheless, he's got like a massive list of things. I was sent this really interesting article by Meg P, and I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to read it to you guys. But I want to remind you of something. The Gonzalez and Laramie family reserved their right to have a tort loss or have a lawsuit regarding to the city, or which would be the police department, essentially the city or the university, if they found that there was wrongdoing leading up to the crime, during or after the investigation. And this lawsuit has a time limit. Like it what's that called? You know, the statute of limitations. And the statute of limitations runs out in a month. It runs out this month. So this month, March 2025, is if they want to file that lawsuit, they have to do it by this month. They had 2 years. Now, what's crazy about that, if you think about it, is when they initially filed or reserved their right to conduct the lawsuit, because they did that in 2023. When they did that, I'm losing my train of thought. Let me turn off my camera. I'm trying to do this off the top of my head, and I had this whole freaking thing planned out. Well, I'm going to skip ahead because I lost that thought. And I'm just going to go to when it came to the demolition of the house. That was kind of like where my mind turned. It was like, this is the largest piece of evidence in the Idaho 4 case, in the case against Brian Koberger, but it's also the largest piece of evidence in this potential case that could come forward. And, oh, this is what I was going to say. The craziest part about that is when they reserve the right to conduct a lawsuit, they also, I'm getting distracted by the chat. I saw Jeff says, I always thought Edelman's survey of being like trying to determine who's seen in Star Wars or not, with questions like, are you aware that Princess Leia is a blood relative of the main character? Maybe so, but at least there was like control. It was a controlled study. It was a documented study. It was a targeted study. It was conducted by trained professionals, people who knew how to react when people said certain things. That's why the trained professionals there is maybe when that question is asked, there's a reaction or something somebody says that's, you have to have professional training to answer properly. I mean, this is what they do. And the science behind the questions that they ask is there too. But, you know, back to the parents, like, I'm being an idiot. Oh, bye, Shaggy. You know, back to the parents, when they reserved the right to conduct this lawsuit in 2023, how were they to know that this trial would just keep going on and on? It wasn't going to be until August, September of 2025. And so I wonder, will we be seeing the families extend their right to conduct this lawsuit past the trial? Because how are they to know if there was wrongdoing if they can't even see the evidence? The case is completely gagged, sealed, and redacted. So I just don't understand how they could move forward with lawsuit if they don't even know what's in there. They don't know much more than us. Apparently they know a 911 call. Sue, I have an article I'd like to read you. And this is called, "This is an attempt by the prosecution to shut them up. Emotions run high in Brian Koberger's gag order hearing." So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on full screen. I am going to make this public, you guys. And then when I'm done, I'm just going to come and say goodbye to you. So let's go public and let's get this party started. Oh, I have to do that on YouTube. Hold on. Okay, you guys. So again, the title of this article, oops, what did I do? The title of this article, "This is an attempt by the prosecution to shut them up. Emotions run high in Brian Koberger's gag order hearing." Let's see if we can play this.
I love LA. Everybody very happy 'cause the sun is.
And this is First at 4. The man accused of murdering the 4 University of Idaho students was back in court today. Earlier this afternoon, a judge heard arguments from the attorney for the Gonzalez family about why he should be able to speak more freely to the media. Shannon Gray represents the Gonzalez family, whose daughter, Kaylee, was stabbed to death last November in Moscow. 28-year-old Brian Koberger is charged with her murder and the murder of her friends Madison Mogan, Dana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Currently, a non-dissemination order or gag order is in place, and that order prevents those involved in the investigation or with knowledge of any evidence from commenting about it to the media. Gray filed a motion to clarify the order because he said it's too vague and doesn't allow the victims' families to speak. Before today's arguments began, Latah County District Judge John Judge apologized to the victims' families for mispronouncing some of their names during Koberger's arraignment on May 22nd.
I also want to acknowledge and apologize because at the arraignment, I did stumble over a couple of names, Kaylee's name and Zayna's name, and I want to explain that. I was up all night, really ill, probably food poisoning, and I was not at full potential. Probably also some emotion and nerves as I read those names. And I'm sorry. So that's my apology for that. I know some people were concerned about that and wanted to address it. Apparently,
the judge ended today's hearing by saying he wouldn't be deciding on the motion today, but would issue a written ruling as soon as possible. A second hearing regarding cameras in the courtroom also happened today, and you can read the very latest at ktvb.com.
Okay, so I'm just going to pause this because we did
Jumpstart your career at Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences.
I don't know why I can't. There we go. So we're going to read this article, and we just went live. So I just wanted to take a second and welcome anyone who's come to join us for the very end. Oops, the very end of this members live that we just had, and we just decided to take it public because this is just a really interesting conversation. What we're bringing up is essentially the Gonzalez family and the Laramie family had reserved their right to sue the city of Moscow or the University of Idaho if they found that there was like any wrongdoing in the case, or if there was anything leading up to, during, or after in the investigation. Now, they had reserved that right in 2023, and now we're coming up in March 2025, and this is when their time is up if they want to put a lawsuit on either of those entities. And so the question is how are they going to do that without seeing all the evidence in the case? Like, how, I think in 2023, when they reserved this right, they assumed the case was going to happen before, August, September of 2025. So they assumed they were going to see everything. But now it's 2025 and it's March, and they still have probably not seen what they need to see to know if they want to conduct this lawsuit. So the question I have is, will they be doing some sort of extension on it this month? And so we just brought up this article on Shannon Gray. We had a long discussion about him beforehand. So if you want to know more about that, go ahead and rewind this to the beginning. We also talked about the private driver and a bunch of other things. So yeah, let me read you this article and then I will be back to say goodbye. So this article was written back in 2023, June 9th, 2023, Moscow, Idaho. Emotions were high in the Latah County Courthouse on Friday, where the judge heard arguments from the Idaho murder victims' family's attorney, Shannon Gray, about why he should be able to speak more freely to the media. Gray represents the Gonzalez family, who lost their daughter, Kaylee Gonzalez, on November of 2022. In a brutal stabbing in Moscow. Brian Kohlberger, 28, is charged with her murder and the murders of her friends, Madison Mogan, Xander Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Before the hearing, Latah County District Judge apologized to the victims' families for mispronouncing some of their names during Brian Kohlberger's arraignment in May 2022. The loss of their children is devastating and horrific, judge says. I was up all night, really ill, probably food poisoning. Also, some emotions and nerves as I read those names. I'm sorry. Currently, a non-dissemination order, a gag order, is in place regarding the case, which forces those involved in the investigation with knowledge of any evidence to sustain from commenting about the media. It was issued on January 3rd and later amended. Gray filed this motion to amend or clarify the order because he said it is too vague. In the hearing Friday, he told judge that because he and the Gonzalez family are not considered a party in this case against Brian Kohlberger, he should be able to speak more freely on behalf of the family, even though Gray has been speaking to the media anyway. Gray also accused the prosecution of keeping the Gonzalez family in the dark. They didn't even know the grand jury was convened to indict Brian Kohlberger on murder charges, he told the judge. And he said the family has never been interviewed. I have not seen a poorer timeline of communication in my 22 years than with the prosecution of the Gonzalez family, Gray said. However, the Gonzalez family may be witnesses at some point during the proceedings, meaning they likely cannot speak about the case anyway due to the gag order. Judge pointed out this would especially be the case during sentencing phase of the if the prosecution decides to move forward in seeking the death penalty. I just kind of want to pause there and go over this line right here because this is kind of interesting. However, the Gonzalez family may be witnesses at some point during the proceedings, meaning they likely cannot speak about the case anyway due to the gag order. Judge pointed out this would be especially the case during the sentencing phase if the prosecution decides to move forward with the death penalty. So I'm wondering when they say that, wrap a jacket. It is like so fucking cold in my office. I wonder when they say that they're going to be witnesses. We had like a whole conversation about the private driver before we made this public. I wonder, could it be, are they witness to something to do with the private driver or something? Or is this a character witnessing when they say they're talking about DP? Are they saying that they're going to be called in as like character witnesses or something for the victims? I don't know. Drop it in the chat what you think. I don't know. Let's keep going. Oh, we have 40 people watching. That's awesome. Thank you. And I think we have another almost 20 on the other channel. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. The prosecution has never interviewed the Gonzalez family. How in the world would they be witnesses? Gray asked the judge. Judge and Gray began going back and forth in a somewhat of a tense exchange about what the authority the judges have over statements of families' attorneys. Help me understand what you think you can't say versus what you've already been saying, judge asked him. I have no idea, Gray said. He told the judge the court is just throwing stuff in the air to regulate his free speech. These statements didn't sit well with the prosecution, however. Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson told the judge that the only reason the Gonzalez family has not been interviewed by the prosecution is because Gray has advised them not to. Mr. Gray has made representations that are simply misleading. The media is here. I gotta move closer to the computer. The media is here. I don't want the public to come away with the impression that that impropriety occurred. We have answered the questions we can, Thompson said. Some of these answers are withheld to maintain the integrity of the investigation, he added. Another member of the prosecution team, Bradley Rudley, told the judge he believes that the Gonzalez family would fall under the gag order because they would likely be witnesses during the sentencing conducted by Judge Gray. So, I mean, I think what they're saying, you guys, is definitely this is like, he would be, they like, that in the death penalty phase, they would be talking about their daughter as a witness. I don't think it has something to do with the crime, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Drop it in the chat. And I'll get to the chat in 1 second and read your comments. Another member of the prosecution team, oh, I already read that one. Rudley said that the reason the order is in place is because each side wants to make sure there's a fair trial is upheld. The alternative, sequestering or changing venue, aren't going to mitigate the impact of statements made in this case. And then that kind of goes back to like, before we went public, we had a long conversation about like, this is before they changed venue. Like when we heard that the Gonzalez's family was conducting interviews, we were thinking like, okay, did they hire a firm? Did they do this, you know, as a group themselves? Did they hire people to do it? But all the while, I never really, my blame never kind of solely when that happened, which seems so contrary to like, we have Edelman out there doing professional surveys. Why were they doing this survey? To me, I was like, you know, you hire an attorney for a reason and they're to advise you. So I kept thinking like, did their attorney advise them to do this? You know, and when you see the Gonzalez family in the media or speaking to media outlets, don't forget they have a family attorney that advises them what to say, how to say it, where to say it. So it's interesting because it's almost like we can put a little responsibility on the person giving them legal advice for this PR stuff we see going on. Anyway, let's keep going. I'm going to read that again because it was so important before I stop. The alternative, sequestering or changing venue, aren't going to mitigate the impact of the statements made in this case, Rudley said. Gray's statements that he isn't bound by the gag order illustrate why the order is necessary in this matter. We would ask the court to uphold the amended order. The defense had their turn and they agreed with the prosecution. The safest thing anyone can do is not speak to the media, they said. Let statements be made here and the media gets that. We don't have someone that's trying to whip the media into a frenzy and send this case to the firing squad or whatever, appearing to refer to the national media outlets who have been speculating Kohlberger could face the firing squad. But Gray fought back. This is an attempt for the I don't know why I said it like that, sorry. This is an attempt for the prosecution to shut them up and shut me up, he said. All of the information disseminated to the public from the get-go was the Manger, Chief Fry, the coroner, and all the people that had interviews we didn't. Judge ended the hearing by saying that he wouldn't be deciding on the motion today, but would issue a written ruling as soon as possible. Another hearing regarding cameras in the courtroom, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And I'm just going to take it to the chat really quickly because you guys seem to have a lot to say about this. Oh, P Fox is here. Good to see you. All right, we got backwoods beats and outlaw rhythms here. I think Steve is a witness to the source of the information he's sharing on the news and other outlets. And you know what? That would be very relevant during the sentencing phase. I agree with you. I should finish your thought. In other words, he may have direct knowledge of where it's coming from. Good point. Wait. P. Fox said, most parents of victims or victims speak at sentencing, don't they? And Tonka said to P. Fox, usually P. Fox, but that wouldn't be why he's subject to the non-dissemination order. And Meg P., who provided the article to us, why in the world would Shannon not let the Gonzalez family interview with the prosecution? That's weird in my opinion. it's weird, and it goes back to like why all these things, why the handling of the media, why the pre-leaking of venue change, why, you know, like I'm not going to name the other things because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. I'm not trying to come down on other creators that present things, but why, like, you know, if it really is real information. Yes, witnesses, they said this 2 years ago. Exactly. They said same as they should have had said it was Brian. Yeah. And then the stalking one after that. Oh, and hey, Robert is here. If you guys could just lift up Robert in prayers. Robert will be taking a little bit of time off YouTube. He's probably not going to be here for like the next month. And he suffered a loss in his family. For those who haven't read my community posts, I'm just going to say something right now just to honor the so we Robert and I have been podcasting together for a long time, and very often in the background of his podcast you can hear Caitlin, his daughter, playing, and oftentimes we would hear Caitlin is 10, we'd often hear 9-year-old Gio in the background, Giovanni, and he was always playing in the background. He actually lived with Robert for a period of time while we were podcasting. I had to turn my camera off and fix my hair. And he was very beloved by our audience. Many people loved hearing his story because he was kind of heroic. He had a lot of developmental disabilities he was overcoming in his daily life. But aside from that, he just lost his father, like less than 7 months ago. And unfortunately, Giovanni was tragically lost his life in a tragic accident not too long ago, several days back. And so Robert is going to be taking some time off to cope with his loss. And I just wanted to, let my audience know, because I know a lot of you really loved little Gio and you all were invested in his journey. And yeah, I just, he will be missed. And we love you very much, Robert, and we're sorry for your loss. So I'm sorry, I don't want to get like all teary on you, but I just wanted to point that out because I had to take down my community post because of unrelated reasons. And anyway, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. I know this was kind of last minute, so I just really appreciate you showing up. And I would ask nothing of you, but if you did like this content, please let me know with a like if you would so desire, because that does put it in front of another person every time you hit that like button, or when you hit the dislike button if you didn't like it. And then I know what things you dislike so I don't make them again. And like I said, I would ask nothing of you. I just appreciate you showing up and listening to what I have to say. But I would love if you considered subscribing. I try to put out content like this daily, whether it's on this platform or another platform, but I try. And I would love to hit that notification bell because it's sort of random. And I just love to have you here when I do go live. So with that said, I think I'm going to sign off for the day. And I hope you guys have a good one. So peace. Thank you.